Winter Bliss, metally corrupted. Alright, got the cool poker chip. Got the sticker. Got the Winter Bliss bag. And I'm going to be up front. I couldn't swing the whole amount, so I did ask for a little lesser amount. And it is a 0.25 gram bag. Thanks, J-Dog. Alright, just get the bag open. Looks like a lot of really cool stuff in there. I think I'll be picking and sorting this out for a while. Alright, let's get classifying and let's see what we can filter out. See what we got going on. Got some pretty colors in there. Earthquake. All right. Check that out. Lots of really cool stuff. I'm going to be picking this out for a while. All right, I will bring you back. I'm going to get this all classified out. Okay, I did 5 classifications just because I knew that I would be picking a lot of stuff out, and I figured with the larger stuff it might be nice to get that divided out into a couple of different sizes. Very cool. Lots of colors. Getting a little smaller. Seems to be quite a bit of copper in this one that I can see. Then we're getting down into the smaller stuff. Hopefully I won't be picking out quite as much from these last two. But we'll take a look. A couple of things that apparently escaped, but I think all in all, pretty much ready to go. Gonna try to keep them separated out so that it'll make it easier to go through and attempt to make the picture. See if I do better than I did last time. These bags are a blast. If you guys ever have a chance to get them, grab them. Check out some of the copper in this one. Some really funky pieces. Lots of cool colors. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to go through. Alright guys, someday I will figure out a good setup for this. It is not easy to do this in my kitchen. Alright. Gotta give this a try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just get this stuff rinsed off. I don't think that I'm going to have anything too big in here for a gold, but in case something's stuck, I'm going to give it a quick pan. And then I'm going to get this stuff out of the water and get it drying so I can start picking out and sorting out colors. There's some cool stuff in there. It's a lot of copper. It's pretty cool pieces. Here, I'm gonna pull them out. I'll just check and make sure there's not some small specks of gold in there. At least it's getting all rinsed off. Not seeing anything for gold in that classification. I'm going to give you a quick little look once I get them out and get them all dried off. There we go. They are all rinsed off. I'm going to set them aside to dry, and I will grab some more and start panning again. Alright, next size down. Give it a good rinse. Make sure there's no gold caught on it. Oh, something floating around. Oh, that's a pretty cool piece of copper. Yes, yeah. There we go. Alright. Not seeing any gold in that one. Just letting them get rinsed off. And I will bring you back. Alright, they're all rinsed off. Good to go. Gonna set them aside to dry. And then I can start sorting those out. Alright, there's one more pan here that has stuff in it that I can pick through. The rest of the stuff's going to start getting a lot smaller, but we'll make sure that I get everything out of all the different size classifications, because I need to use all of this material in order to make a collage of the label picture that Metally put on there. So I am going to get pan in this one. Actually quite a little bit of color in there now that I've got it wet and kind of checking it over. Cool copper pieces, but I'm not seeing any gold in this one. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry out, and I'll bring you back for the next couple of pans. Alright, 2 pans to go. Getting smaller and smaller. Let's see what we find for shiny. All of this stuff, whatever I have for tailings at the end, after I picked everything out, I will run it back through my cleanup buddy just to make sure that I haven't missed anything. I do pretty well with panning. I don't usually find a whole lot, but you know, all gold matters, so I don't really want to lose anything, so I always make sure that I either repan or just run it through my Clean It Buddy. Oh, I'm seeing some copper popping out there too. Alright, let's see what we got. Little copper pieces popping around in here. I'm going to rinse that out a little bit. Oops. Keep that handy. Start pulling some of those little pieces of copper out. They're rolling around in here pretty good. So as I can catch them, I might as well get them now because I'm probably going to need them. Anything else in this one that I think I might need? Pretty much anything that's in here. Any other organic materials that we have from other pay dirts, I guess, is fair game, according to Metally's post that he put out. I'm trying to get the copper out of there so I can get the gold, because there is some shiny in this one. I don't want to have to do too much picking while on camera. That would take a long time. Alright. Sorry if I'm not talking a whole lot. I'm kind of losing my voice again. Not unusual when you work in a school system this time of year. There's some shiny. Gotta love seeing that little smile up in the top of your pan. Alright, I am going to grab my snuffer bottle. Get ready to go. Got a couple more little pieces of copper in there. Just double checking. It's always those little tiny pieces of stone and copper and so forth that I'm not sure what I'm going to need, but I don't want to lose any of it. It's just a piece of pyrite. Same with that. I think we're good there. Alright, I've got one more. This is the ultra fine stuff. Yeah, starting to see some black sand there. I didn't really check it for magnetics. Suppose I can do that. Yep, there's definitely some black sand. We're pretty used to it around here. We have a lot of black sand, a lot of garnet sand. And in some places we get this really heavy blonde sand too. Somebody told me what that was once, but I cannot for the life of me think of what it is. If you know what it is, leave it in the comments. I do prospect primarily in Maine and New Hampshire. I'm not far from the Coos Canyon area. Ooh, there we go. There's the black sands. Make sure we get everything down in the bottom.
Workbench morning comes, I shake that screen in my hand.
We're getting there.
Winter bliss in the pan, copper glints in the tan. Gem by gem I sorted slow, little sparks in the dirt. Blue for the shadow line, green for the pine and turf. Black pan catching all the shine, purple pan for the bold surprise. Gold pan waiting at the end, I can see the picture again. Winter bliss. Winter bliss. Spread it out. Blue, green, purple, black. Turn the pile, turn it back. Winter bliss, winter bliss. Hold it spark. I make the colors fit. I make the colors fit. Copper dust in the corner tray, gem dust on my sleeve.
I will definitely be going through this a couple of times. But the gold is starting to poke through. I don't know if you guys can see. Right up in there.
Every grain has a place to land, every shimmer in my palm. I don't just sort the load, I turn the whole.
So I did get to do the Borealis bag. Empty Pan bought it for me. Had it shipped up to me. That was very nice. And had a lot of fun trying to do the picture. We'll see how I do with this one. These bags where you create something out of what's in them, they're pretty cool.
Then I build that package face with the shine and the grit. copper for the outline, gemstone eyes.
It's going to take a little bit of time to go through this.
Paper glue and patient hands, layer by layer, line by line. What was buried in the dirt now becomes a sign. Winter bliss, winter bliss. Put it in, put it in. Blue, green, purple, black. Make it sing, make it sing. Winter bliss, winter bliss. From the pan to the frame, I made the picture live. I made the picture live.
Keep poking some of that gold back up into the crease. Get some of this out of here. I will be repanning this, so if I miss some, it's not lost. Get some of the rest of the black sand out of there. Gonna get some of that shiny out of here and into my snuffer, or as Megadog calls it, Snuffy. Alright. Cleans out my pan a little bit. Some of my pans look a little worse for wear because they get used out in the river a lot. Alright, so I had some little tiny pieces of copper that I put in there. The rest of the stuff's drying out by the fire. I'm going to do a quick snuffer dump. And I will be going back through the tailings, so just to give you guys a good idea of what's in here. And again, I did not get the full half-gram bag that Metally put out. I requested a lesser amount just so I could afford it and have a little fun doing it, because his bags are really cool to do. So check out Metally Corrupted.
Winter bliss in the pan, copper glints in the tank. Gem by gem, I sorted slow, little sparks in the dirt. Blue for the
There we go.
line, green for the
Almost.
and turf. Black pan catching all the shine, purple pan for the
I think you got it all out now.
gold pan waiting at the end. I can see the picture again.
Piece that goes in with the copper.
Winter bliss, spread it out, spread it out. Blue, green, purple, black. Turn a pile, turn a pile. Winter bliss, winter bliss. Hold that spark, hold that spark.
The rest of that black sand out.
I make the colors fit. Copper dust in the corner tray, gem dust on my sleeve. I lay each piece by shade like a map I can believe. Blue stones for the sky up top, green stones for the trees, purple stones for the hills and boots, black for the frame I see.
Alright. There we go. Trying to get that so you can actually see it. There we go. I'll get that dried up and weighed, and I will bring you back. I saved the black sands in case I need black in my picture. I just went back through my tailings. I only found 2 other little small pieces. They're right up here, and you can barely even see them. But I will add them to the others. And I'm going to get everything dried out so I can start working on the picture.